Alright, just wanted to do an update video. Um, the room is not in the best of shape, but I am doing some things. Probably the most challenging thing right now is getting things out of boxes. Um, it seems like the only way I can get anything done is if like I move things from like one area to the other, and then I work on some space. But a lot of games still in boxes. Like my entire collection of PS1 games. PS1. I think all my Switch stuff is there. DS and 3DS stuff, as well as there's basically underneath that I think is mostly PS1 games. PS2 games in that box. I think GameCube is in there with a few more Wii games, I think, and then there's some PSP games in there as well. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and I think some NES games. That container there is filled with systems, just the systems, no cords. These two containers are filled with controllers and wires, cords. Some of these other boxes have just like miscellaneous stuff. That box is an old Atari. That Atari was mine back in the 80s. I obviously wasn't old enough to really know how cool that thing was until I got older. When I was probably like early to mid 90s, I really started to appreciate that thing. Well, it was already beyond. But that was something that we did have back when I was pretty young in the 80s. This over here is what I've been made the most progress with. This is a shelf that is made of slat wood. I don't know if that's officially what it's called. I call it that because it's just really cheap wood. You can buy it at Home Depot for about $2 for 8 feet pieces. And then I've just bought a bunch of that over the years, and then have mostly added. I haven't subtracted to it, but with the other house I lived in, I had a basically like one of these. Like now I have like two combined, but it was a lot. The one I had was a lot taller. So how I did this was this one in the middle, I basically cut it in half, and then, or no, I'm sorry, I cut both pieces that I had, and then this is the leftover, and then I attached it together, and I made sure I measured everything properly because it still is level. So, and then everything that I do with this too, and I've done this with thinking that it doesn't have to be permanently created. Plus, there'd be a lot of screws used. Let me get a piece that's open. Like this can be just taken off. It doesn't stay permanent. I'd be kind of stupid if I use like wood glue and screws. I mean, like I said, that'd be a ton of screws. Especially since like every shelf is about 6 pieces. But I just made sure I sanded everything, and it's not perfect. If it was perfect, it would probably have been a lot more expensive. Like some of the wood is kind of bowed, and it did require me to sand a good bit. But it does a good job kind of keeping things organized in a safe way, because safety has always been my priority with storing my games. Like I can pretty much keep this concealed, and then I know it won't lock, but like when I say safety, I mean like for my kids. My kids don't come in and eventually do stuff to it. So like I could even like put some type of tie around the door handles too. But anyway, this will probably change a little bit once I keep putting more things into there. But I have stuff all the way down on the bottom floor, and then I mean it's not perfectly sized for like games because I wanted to give it a little bit of space so I can get in there. I mean I have to get down on my hands and knees to get down to like the lower level, but like this is not designed in a way to be like visually appealing. It's just obviously meant to be intelligently organized. Safety priority is really what it's all about. And like I said, I'm not real wild about like drilling holes into the walls and making like shelves that like I could let like 6 months go by and say I wish I wouldn't have done that. So like I have these shelves here, and I'm probably going to do something with them. Even if it is just like taking stuff like that and displaying them. Speaking of that, I don't think I've showed these off, but these are they're basically Lego sets that you could have bought them in the stores for outrageous prices at like places like Target and Walmart, but I've come to realize that you can find these same models. They're basically Lego pieces that you can put together, and they have instructions on how to put them together, and you can get them off AliExpress. So if you've never heard of that before, AliExpress is an Asian retail company that sells like Chinese made products or Asian made products. I shouldn't just say, it's not just China, it's just cheap made Asian products. And so like I would be willing to bet like most of these models would have cost $25, $30 if you could find them in American stores like a Target or a Walmart. Like you probably couldn't even have, I never even saw that General Grievous one, but like the prices on these from like AliExpress, like the Luke Skywalker one was like $7, and it's free shipping. It's crazy. The Stormtrooper one was probably $7, $8. The General Grievous one was like 10 something, free shipping. I have a bunch of other ones I've built with my son. I keep them in at my job, my school I teach at, and a lot of the kids like them. Kids I work with are around like 15, 16 years old. So it kind of turns into like a talking point. So some of the other ones I have, I'm probably going to bring them back home, just because I've accumulated more than I probably should have in there. I think I have about like six or seven in there. So I think they'd be kind of cool to display them. Although like they're not tremendously stable, they could probably fall over pretty easily. But anyway, I'll probably also put my DVD collection in there too. I had that shelf out in my garage in my previous house, and it was taking up like 3 of those. But I think 3 of those just with one row and then stacked above, not double rows. I hope to not have that many DVDs that I would have to double stack, but I think I was looking at the total number count I have. I think I have over 200 now. But every DVD I've got over the last like 2 years, I've usually only paid like 25-50 cents a piece. So as long as I watch it once, it's not a horrible investment. Last thing I guess I could show you, even though I don't have a whole lot more organized, I have been picking up some things, so I just have been throwing them here. But this is a good deal if you can get to your local Target. This this Starlink game for Switch is on clearance, and this should be nationwide. It is $22.48, and it comes with the game in there. Like I kind of wish that this would have just been a game that you could just buy as a game. But like I still don't even really know how much goes into this as far as what you have to do to play this game. But all I had ever heard of was that this game was like pretty decent. But I would prefer to just play the game and not have to worry about the toys. I mean, I'd almost give this R-Wing to my son, but I know he'd probably break it like in a few days. So I don't know. We'll see. A couple other games I got. Moonlighter for the Switch. Before I moved, I had this and I was playing this a few nights. I think I might have put in maybe like 2 hours into this, and I liked it. It was actually pretty fun. Like the idea of the game is a good idea. It definitely like tries to get you to sink hours into it. I can tell that's what it was designed for. But anyway, I got that for like 20 something because 29.69. I had a $10 off coupon. I forget how I got that. So I got this for like 19.69, 20, basically $20, and that was like the right price for that game. This I got at the GameStop. I forget what type of sale it was, like Easter sale or spring sale or something like that. And I love the Trials games. I've been a big fan of them ever since they were like Flash games on the PC back in the early 2000s. It's come a long way as like a series. I don't think everybody realizes that it used to be like just like a free Flash game, and then it started being pushed onto consoles. Mostly like the Xbox Live version that came on the 360 was pretty popular too. But for $20, I was pretty interested in getting that. I saw that the Switch version was also $20, but then like I watched videos and it was like really not good when you compared like the PlayStation 4 version versus the Switch version. Like as far as graphics and like obviously it's a game that moves quickly, like jumps and the scenery moves by fast. So the frame rate was really bad on the Switch versus this one. So that was more important than having it on the go. What else? This was a nice deal. So I caught the tail end of this deal, and I wish I would have got the beginning stages of this deal. Target put in their advertisement Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the actual Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as $19.99 in their advertisements, and they messed it up, and then they tried to change it midweek, and they were meaning to have this be the image on their ad. So like people that were quick enough to get into Targets earlier in the week, I think it was only like a day or so, were able to get Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for $19.99. And then when they switched it over on their ads to this, they also could have gotten this for $19.99. So I missed it at the tail end of the week because that was the week I was moving, and then I saw on a forum that people were still recommending that you probably can't get them at Target, but you could probably price match it at Best Buy, and that's what I did. I walked into a Best Buy. I saw that there was a Best Buy not far from me that had 2 of them in stock, so I just asked if they could do that, and they did that, and I got this for $20. So I haven't opened it up. It's still sealed. It's not the GameStop new where it's not new, but it really is new for Best Buy. Anyway, I went to a yard sale today, and I went to a community yard sale, and didn't really find much, but I did find a guy selling some of his CDs, and he only wanted 25 cents a piece for CDs, and I've been kind of thinking about the idea of just adding some music to what I have. I've accumulated CDs from my wife because she had a bunch of CDs from when she was like 16 to 22, and a lot of it was mostly like that 2000s rock period. Stuff like Linkin Park, Korn, Three Doors Down, trying to think what else, Red Hot Chili Peppers, stuff like that. So she had Eminem. I think she had a bunch of those Eminem CDs. So not a whole lot of rap, but anyway. So like we never threw that away, and I think I have those in a box somewhere. And so there just has been a side of me that like, if I could find them for like, you know, real cheap, just pick them up. I love CCR, so I was like, that's a no-brainer to pick that up. But this is a really tons of great songs on that. I was listening to that earlier actually while I was driving. The Cars greatest hits. There's some songs on there I could recognize. Bob Marley. That only has a few songs on it. I was wishing if I could find like a greatest hits version of Bob Marley, I'd probably replace this with that. And then this is basically like the greatest hits of Eric Clapton. So yeah, like my goal for like CDs would not be like hoarding everything. It would just be like having the best of certain groups and certain bands and stuff like that. What else? I got some DVDs here. I just realized I have 5 movies. I wonder if... Never mind, I was trying to think about how much a guy charged me when I checked out. But anyway, I got 5 DVDs. I thought I had It. I'm going to kick myself if I do have it in one of these boxes. I try to keep like a catalog to remind me what I have and what I don't have and what I would like a wish list. But I just figured I'd pick it up because this pawn shop I go to, they sometimes like change their sale price. So sometimes I can get them for 25 cents, sometimes I'll get them for 50 cents. But this was in good shape, so I just figured if I have it, then so be it. But I don't think I have a version like this that's in like an original case like this. So World War Z. I saw that the game came out recently. That's not a full price game, but it's been getting like some pretty good recommendations from people on YouTube. So I've never seen it before. I figured I'd watch it one time, and if I can get through it the whole time, then it was worth. I think I paid 50 cents or a quarter, whatever. It would be worth it. I've been in the pursuit of picking up movies for certain actors, and this continues my Tom Hanks search for his movies. I'm trying to think. A lot of the movies I don't have of his would be like his earlier stuff. I'm trying to think if I have Money Pit. I don't think I have Money Pit. I remember like I could have had a chance to have gotten Bachelor Party, but I was like an idiot and didn't get it. Bachelor Party is such a good movie. I forget what that movie is where he doesn't transform, but he basically acts like he's a kid. I can't remember what that was called. Then there's another one called Splash, I think. The Burbs is a really good one too. Some of those early movies where the comedies. That other one where he did with Dan Aykroyd, where he's a cop, was a good one too. Where he played like the oddball partner. Dan Aykroyd, I think, was like real serious. But yeah, there's still a lot of Tom Hanks movies that I could still get. I think I have A League of Their Own. I'm pretty sure I have that. Another movie that was on my wish list that I thought I had. I don't think. I mean, unless my catalog thing is not updated, but I remember seeing this when this first came out, and I was really impressed with it. Plus, I forgot how many decent actors are in this. I think this was at a time when Josh Hartnett was like, they were trying to push him as like a lead actor, because I think he got lead character in this movie. I can't remember anything about this movie, but I do remember that like I sort of liked it. But I know that Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman were in it, and besides that, I don't remember what it was about. I do remember thinking that it was kind of good, though. And then this was nice to see. I already have the Transporter movie, so that wasn't what I was looking for. But two movies that I did have on my wish list that I was looking for was Speed and Point Break. So I could get two movies off the wish list with just this one. So I really don't understand why the Transporter is like is in this mix of three. I have no idea what their thinking was with that. I mean, they're all really good movies. I'm not dissing the Transporter, but you would have thought they'd like just throw on like another Keanu Reeves movie. It depends on, I guess, when they printed this. They should have put Street Kings on there. That was another good Keanu Reeves like action movie, I guess. It like not everybody knows of, but anyway, that's my update and impromptu what I've picked up, and we shall see what I do to this room next time. See ya.